Hi, in this second video we're gonna do some more wood rendering. Now I got rid of the blacklight wood and I pulled out this normal kind of what we would think of as a kind of standard piece of pine. Now if I look at the colours, now you probably, maybe if you're lucky, you've got a yellow and a brown. We can see that they're not quite the same colours, but that's what we're going to use for this. Now I also have a range of yellow pencils that I've built up over the years, and we can see that probably a closer colour would be that kind of creamy colour, and the grain would probably be done in that kind of brown like that. So it's good to build up pencils and keep them. Some of these are actually probably older than you. I've had them since I was at school, so that's at least 3 years ago. So I'll pot them to one side. So I was going to use these two. Now it's the same process as before. We're going to start with a kind of, instead of just a tone, we're going to have a base colour. So I'm going to choose the base colour of this, and I can see that the base colour of this, I'm trying to see, is this recording? Yes, it is recording. I'm going to make sure I move that mouse. I realise that a lot of my videos I have my mouse pointer there, and it's really, really annoying, but that's fine, so I apologise for that in the last one. I've moved it out of the way. Now I'm going to start with my base colour. So this time I'm going to start with my base colour. So we're going to have this as yellow. Now it could be, if you were doing something for maybe a toy car or a child's toy that was a kind of a stained wood, you might want to start with a red, or you might want to start with a blue, but in this case I'm going to start with a yellow. So again, I'm just going to have that, and I'm not really going to worry too much about completing it, because I'm just going to go across it like that, and this kind of broken bit here actually almost acts like grain as well. So I'm going to go back in and I'm going to look at this, and I'm going to imagine this block standing up. I'm going to have my lightest side on the top. So same as before, I'm going to render that in. And I know that one of the problems I have with yellow is it hasn't got any real depth to it. So I can press and I can go over and I can make lots and lots of, I can push harder and harder and harder and harder and harder and harder. And I know that that yellow is never going to get any darker than that. That's as dark as that yellow is going to get. So I'm going to put a base tone or a base color on all of those sides, and then I have to think, well, how am I going to create the tones that I need? So I could create the tones if I had another yellow, which I do. I could take another yellow or another brown and I could put another tone over the top. But if you don't, then we're going to have to work with what we've got. So we could take a grey pencil, or we could take another, I'm going to take, in this case, I'm going to take the brown pencil that I have, the kind of standard colouring pencil, and I'm going to make that side a little bit darker. Now you might want to experiment. You could use perhaps your normal lead pencil, your kind of graphite pencil, and see if that works. It's about working with what you've got at this point, because it's in a lockdown. So I can see that I've got my tone 1, my tone 2. There's not much difference between the two. I might try and build up another tone with this pencil. Let's see if I can get a mid-tone. I've got a little bit of a tonal difference there. So again, I'm going to look at my end grain, and I can see my end grain curves round this way. So I'm going to put that on. In fact, this time I think what I'll do is I'll put my end grain on this side here, so if it was lying down the way. And I'm going to take my brown pencil this time, and I'm going to start with my end grain. And again, I can just sort of have a kind of random, I don't want to make it too perfect, like so. And then when the long grain hits the corner, where that curve hits the corner, it then travels across in a straight line. Now I can alter the spacing a little bit to make it look a little bit less regular, but I don't want it to be all kind of shaky. Now I'm going to have to press a little bit harder on this side to make that stand out. So I've got my kind of end grain and my long grain on like that. Next stage, same as before, I'm going to go back to my black colored pencil, and I'm going to go and I'm going to darken in where my spider crawls across. So in this case, because it's a nice simple object, it's just round the edge like that. Okay, so then I've got to think, well, how am I going to pull this point forward? Now the black might be a little bit too extreme, so I'm going to use my dark crown pencil again, and I'm going to pop that in just to bring it forward. And might take it down a little bit like that. So I've got my kind of, now I could go in, now the problem with colour pencils is that they don't really rub out that well. I could try and see if I could put a highlight on that corner. Let's give it a go. Get my little eraser shield, see if I can take it out. And it works a little bit. It's not great. I'm sorry if you can hear my messages pinging in on my computer. But that's it. Now, I haven't put the grain on this one. I had the end grain here, so I'm going to put the long grain in just across it like that. Changing the spacing ever so slightly. Like that. And then I'm going to darken that one in with my pencil again. In this case, I'm just going to use my brown, because I don't have my wet pencil in my hand. So I could have done that with the base colour being red, being blue, and then I would just use either darker blue. So if you don't have a brown and yellow, try different colours, or try different variations of colours. Okay, that's that one. Thank you.